Hi guys, this is Black Hippie Chick, and I am putting on makeup and talking about where things stand as far as my job loss and me leaving the country and putting my house on the market and yada 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 yada. Several things. Health insurance. I didn't opt to get Cobra when I lost my job because Cobra would be really, really prohibitively expensive for me. So, oh girl, what are you doing? Y'all see that? What is that? Looks like I gave myself a black eye right there. I didn't do Cobra, so I'm gonna have to do the Obamacare or get on some type of health plan. Honestly, international health insurance through Blue Cross and Blue Shield, from what I've seen, is a lot cheaper than anything available in the States. So I think it's like $300 a month. I can get international coverage wherever I go while I'm traveling. I think it's through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And if anybody has any advice on this, I would love to hear it because I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this thick ass makeup that I was trying. What the hell was that? No, ma'am, we're not doing that. So get that shit off your eyes and start over. This is why I don't wear makeup, because like I said, I can't see. Like, it's hard. I can't see without my glasses, and I need to be able to see to put on eye makeup. And without my glasses on, it just looks crazy. And then I put my glasses on and I'm like, okay, let's try. I'm going to try to put on some makeup. Work with me here. Okay. Let's try it again. So healthcare is a thing. I'm going to need to get healthcare. So that's something that it's not free, it's not cheap, but it's very necessary. In fact, just not having any health insurance in these past few months, these couple of months since I lost my job, because I didn't opt for Cobra. I can get on the exchange, but from what I understand, the premiums for the Obamacare are so expensive that, I mean, what was that? Really, what was Obamacare if not just another way of extracting tax dollars out of people that already ain't got no money? And it was a win probably for the health insurance companies. But since when did? But I live in Texas, so from what I understand, Texas didn't go with the subsidy, and so y'all people who voted for this damn fool that has taken your Medicare, taking your Obamacare, taking your daycare, taking your education dollars, every single thing that the American people rely on as taxpayers. This is another mindset that people need to get out of, that being a recipient of taxpayer funded benefits is some kind of it's something people are being shamed about. How is it possible that you feel shame about something that you can't afford, like health care, for not having it and for not having a job that provides it? What kind of culture set people up to believe that not having the ability to afford basic things like food, gas, healthcare, daycare, all the things, not being able to afford that has now become a reason to shame people who don't have it? And the ones that are doing the most shaming are the ones taking it away from you. The most wealthy people, the wealthiest people in the world, are saying you don't need health care. You just need to try harder. They're telling you you need an education They put you in debt for that education. And then tell you you're not trying hard enough to get the job that would help you to be able to make that damn $100,000 worth of student loan debt make sense. You're not trying hard enough. Those jobs don't exist. And now with AI, they exist even less. So be real with yourself when you're talking about what that American dream is. I came into the American dream when it really still existed. Think about this for a second. I dropped out of high school when I was 16. I got a GED. Hold on, I got a GED when I was 17. I was supposed to graduate when I was 18. But because I dropped out of high school when I was 16 in Texas, at the time you had to be out of school for a year before you could sit for the GED test. I dropped out of school because I lost my father. My dad died. My life blew up. So, I was next to the youngest. I had one younger sister. But when my father died, I was on my own. My stepmother was still in the house. She tried. She did her best. And but that was the life that I had. So I dropped out of high school. I went and got a GED. When I got the GED, I completed that thing in one day. It was not hard for me. I don't know anybody who's ever taken the GED. It wasn't hard for me because I completed it and passed everything in one day. Then when I went to I wanted to go to college, but I didn't have a college mindset. I didn't have a college goal. That really wasn't my goal. I wanted to go to the military. I wanted to do anything. I just didn't want to just sit and do nothing. So when I was about 18, I ended up going to Minnesota, and that was a real life-changing and changed the trajectory of my life in a positive way. That had I not gone to Minnesota when I was 18, I would not have been so fortunate as to have been able to live the life that I have lived. Now mind you, my life has not been no piece of cake. My life has not been no cakewalk. But doors have opened for me because I have taken some risks. And I knew once I got into that door, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be or whatever. But just because the opportunity presents itself to you doesn't mean you're going to always take it. Doesn't mean it's always a good opportunity. But if the door is open, you get to see whether it is or not. And I have had a lot of doors open to me in the past. Also, be real about it, people. Growing up, back in the day, a personality and a nice smile got you a long, long way. And so I grew up at a time where charm mattered. You had to be able to be charming to get a job. Not necessarily attractive, but charming. You had to be able to charm somebody to give you an opportunity to get you a job back in the day. You could walk up to a business with a resume, hard copy, walk up to the business, ask to talk to the boss, and get an interview on site. That's how we used to get jobs when I grew up. When I came into the job market, getting a job was about having your resume. Your resume was like your hammer, honey. And you took that resume and you went out there and pounded the pavement. That's what we called it back then. We used to pound the pavement. But we didn't have no gatekeepers like AI. And we didn't have the gatekeepers like this abyss of applying online. Once they started jobs that you have to apply for online, and they started looking for keywords and all that kind of stuff, they took the humanity out of human resources a long time ago, because you used to be able to call and talk to somebody at a company and get an appointment and get a job. And this was back in the 80s, 90s when I was working. When I started out in my career, I got my first job. It was 40 years ago. I was 21 years old, and I was working at a medical center in Minneapolis. No experience, got a really good job, really good benefits. I knew how to type like 20 words a minute. And, I was just, doing my thing. That's another thing. You have to have a skill. Back then, my marketable skill, in addition to my being able to have a good conversation, my ability to be able to speak and interact and engage and all of that, but I had the skill of typing. From there, everything else, because the keyboard was universal all over the place. When I learned how to type, I went to a little secretarial school. I did have a little bit of ambition, though, now that I'm thinking about it. Because I did. When I was married to my first husband, I got married when I was 19. Put a pin in that. We'll come back to that later. But I got married when I was 19. But before that, while I was married, my husband sent me to like secretarial school. So I was that's why I learned how to type. And when I finished with that school, I had I could type 25 words a minute. And so that 25 words a minute, with my little head that said it wanted to go and do something bigger than I was doing, I took that and I used to I get the classified ads and circle the jobs and call the jobs and ask to talk to the boss and go up there in person in your nicest, finest, whatever, and go up there and talk to the boss face to face. That's how we used to get jobs when I was growing up. It's so impersonal and dehumanizing to sit there and you can apply for 1,000 jobs. But if your algorithm ain't set right, or if the keywords ain't right, or whatever, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Who you want to be is the person that owns the system that's collecting all these resumes and doing nothing with them. You want to be the one that's in demand. So who's in the right now? People looking for jobs is a big business. Think about how you can capitalize on that. People who are looking for jobs. Some jobs want to see you in person. Going to job fairs, that's cool. I guess job fairs are cool. I've been to one in my life. But I've had friends who have recommended me for positions. I've had, I've gone out there and gotten it many times. But the game has been changed. The rules are different, and it's not set up for the average person anymore. It's really, truly not a fair system that these young people are up against, and older people. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. If I have to downsize my life to where I can fit into a box, and I'm not paying rent, I'll pay for things that I use. But as far as all this other extra, I'm not doing it. So how can you not do that? Think about it. If you're trying to get away from having to be on the treadmill, you're going to have to do something else. If you're still trying to work for somebody, caregiver, live-in caregiver jobs, go to the healthcare section on Craigslist for jobs. Live-in female needed to take care of my elderly grandpa, grandma, auntie, uncle. $1,500 a month, rent-free. Light meals you have to prepare. This person cannot use it. There are all kinds of jobs like that. Nanny. Or if you don't want to be the actual nanny, open up a nanny service. Bring all the nannies to you. Put together nannies and people looking for nannies. Daycare for all the people that are out there working and going to and from work, but they need a safe in your neighborhood. You don't have to go far. If you live in an apartment complex and you're offering daycare services in that building, imagine that. How much that saves the people living in the building from having to drive to daycare, then drive to work. You're right there in the building. This is free game because, like, it's easy for me to talk about when I'm not actually out there in it, but most likely I've experienced something like that. So if you have any questions, I'm just not doing it anymore. Like I said, I'm downsizing my life. I'm getting off the treadmill. I'm not getting back on it. It's not my ministry anymore. But I'm more than happy to help and encourage other people. And I guess that's what I got on here to say. I'm downsizing my life. I haven't sold the house yet. I still plan to move abroad. But don't look at things for the way that they are and get discouraged. Look at things for the way that they are and see them as an opportunity. And that's all I had to say. Y'all have a blessed day. Black Hippie Chick.